We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit.
What you just saw wasn't Barack Obama. It's a deepfake created by actor Jordan Peele in collaboration with BuzzFeed. Jordan's voice is automatically lip-synced to a video featuring an AI-generated Barack Obama. This content, published in 2018, was meant to raise awareness of deepfakes. But did it succeed? In this video, we'll explore 3 questions. What are deepfakes? How are they created? How do they impact society? Deepfakes are realistic media products that fake a person's appearance or voice using artificial intelligence. Deepfakes exist in different modalities. The most famous modality is video. In video deepfakes, visuals are manipulated to fake the appearance and the actions of a target person. That's the case of the Obama deepfake, where Jordan Peele let Obama say things he never did. Audio is another common modality. Audio deepfakes aim to clone the voice of a person. For example, an audio deepfake will clone Obama's voice but not its appearance. Audio deepfakes use a technique called voice cloning. If you mix audio and video modalities, you get more powerful deepfakes. For example, with current technology, it's possible to create a video deepfake where a fake-looking Obama produces speech in an Obama-sounding voice generated via voice cloning. The term deepfake sheds some light on the underlying technology used to create such synthetic content. The term deepfake is a portmanteau of deep learning and fake. Engineers use deep learning to create fake content. But what is deep learning? Deep learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that uses an algorithm called a neural network to solve complex tasks like speech recognition, image recognition, or self-driving cars. Engineers use neural networks also to generate audio and visual synthetic content. This content can indeed be deepfakes. The architecture of a neural network is inspired by the brain. A neural network has many neurons that exchange information with each other, just like their biological cousins. Each neuron is a simple unit of computation. Just like the brain, a neural network is capable of carrying out complex tasks by leveraging the connections that exist among the individual neurons. In other words, complex behaviors emerge as a manifestation of the complex data transfer patterns among neurons. Similarly to the brain, connections in a neural network are dynamic. Engineers can modify them to achieve their goals through a process called training. Let's say we want to train a network to recognize cats and dogs in pictures. To do that, we need to train a network using a dataset of images portraying cats and dogs. We feed the images to the network during the training phase. For each image, we tell the network if it features a dog or a cat. Iteratively, the network adjusts the connections among neurons and learns to distinguish between the two animals. To summarize, the network learns by seeing many examples of the task at hand. This process applies to all sorts of applications. With some significant differences, it applies also to deepfake generation. There are several flavors of neural networks. The ones used for generating deepfakes are generative adversarial networks, or GANs, autoencoders, and lately, diffusion models, which have recently garnered significant hype for the generation of stunning synthetic art. Deepfake is a technology, a powerful one for sure, but still just a technology. As such, people can use it for legitimate and nefarious applications. There are several positive applications for deepfakes. You can make amazing satire with deepfakes. You can generate art. You can resuscitate an actor on screen or a musician who has long been dead. A striking example is a young Princess Leia from Star Wars appearing in the final scene of the film Rogue One. CGI experts used special effects to bring back on screen a young Carrie Francis Fisher, the actress, impersonating Princess Leia. They didn't use deepfake technology. It still wasn't a thing in 2016 when the film came out. However, there are several examples on YouTube of the same scene done with deepfake technology that's more realistic than the one in the movie created with traditional CGI techniques. Deepfakes can also be used to produce personalized AI tutors that can support us while we learn new things. It can power AI avatars which may populate video games and the metaverse and make these virtual experiences more dynamic and engaging. The sky's really the limit for positive deepfake applications. At the same time, deepfake technology can be used maliciously to harm society. In particular, deepfakes can threaten the individual, businesses, and democracy itself. The term deepfakes originated from a Redditor. This user shared a few celebrity pornographic video deepfakes on a subreddit back in 2017. He swapped celebrities' faces onto the bodies of actresses performing in pornographic videos. Deepfakes are used also for revenge porn, a plague that affects females disproportionately. When misused in this way, deepfakes become a significant threat to the reputation of individuals and can have dire psychological consequences for the victims. While initially only people with advanced technical skills could create deepfakes, over time, the barrier to entry has consistently lowered. Numerous apps like FakeApp appeared on app stores that allow anyone to perform face swaps and create deepfakes easily. Access to such technology multiplies the opportunity to perform bullying, fraud, identity theft, and intimidation. Deepfakes can be a major vulnerability for companies. For example, in 2019, scammers used speech cloning to fake a CEO's voice and request a fraudulent transfer of 220,000 euros. The executive of a UK energy company was called by his fake boss from Germany. He thought he was talking to his boss, who demanded him to send the money to a Hungarian company with urgency. The executive said that the slight German accent of his boss was credible, as was the tone and prosody of his voice. This is just one among many scams performed to date with audio deepfakes. Law enforcement and cybersecurity experts agree that deepfakes will be used ever more often for scamming companies. The easier the technology will be to use, the more criminals will be able to take advantage of it. Businesses are not alerted about these attacks. They're still not used to deepfake scamming, and the whole shebang still sounds a little bit sci-fi. Unfortunately, these attacks are real and will only increase with time. Deepfakes can threaten the very fabric of democracy. They can be used to sway the public opinion, to fuel disinformation, and to harm public figures' reputation. There's a long tradition of media manipulation that predates deepfakes. However, deepfakes are more sophisticated and difficult to detect to the untrained eye. Deepfakes have already been used on multiple occasions to let political leaders seemingly say something they never did. A notable example is Volodymyr Zelensky's video deepfake published on March 16th of 2022, just after the beginning of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This video portrays the Ukrainian president supposedly telling Ukrainian soldiers to surrender to the Russian army. The video was massively shared on social media. Once debunked, Facebook and YouTube decided to take it down from their servers, while Twitter allowed the video to be shared with a message telling that the content is fake. To address malicious applications of deepfakes, it's necessary to take decisive legal and technical responses. Countries should embrace legislation that aims at limiting the spread of deepfakes, or at least at exposing the content as fake. The European Union has devised the Digital Services Act in 2018, followed by the Code of Practice on Disinformation, which tackles, among other things, the use of deepfakes. The EU expects companies such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to take actions to mitigate the threat of disinformation, and more specifically, that of deepfakes. By the beginning of 2023, these platforms should provide the Commission with implementation reports of their risk mitigation strategies. Countering deepfakes is an ethical slippery slope, though. Several rights clash against each other. On the one hand, citizens in liberal democracies have the right to free speech. On the other hand, disinformation can poison the public opinion. Finding a balance between respecting the right to free speech and the right to not being fooled by malicious actors is challenging. Once again, deepfake is a neutral technology. As we saw, it can be used for exciting applications or for nefarious goals. The regulator faces significant grey areas. Sometimes it's difficult to classify a use of the technology as positive or negative because personal values play a role in such judgment. A position I support is that everyone is entitled to create any type of deepfake, but not all deepfakes should or can be shared. The ones which are harmful for the individual, businesses, and society at large should be removed from the internet, or at least clearly flagged as fakes. What do you think, folks? How should we regulate deepfakes? Is it legitimate for a country to ban deepfakes? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all I have for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it and subscribing to the channel. Until the next time.